I'm Lydia.
I'm Ed.
We're friends with a playlist for everything. And it turns out we both have one called Survival Songs.
And it got us thinking, what are other people's survival songs?
So we thought we'd find out.
Welcome to Survival Songs,
A podcast where each episode our guest tells us about a song that gets them through the best and worst of times.
Sensitive topics might be discussed, so make sure you look after yourself.
We'd love for you to support and celebrate the artists by streaming, downloading and buying their brilliant music. And go give our guests a follow on social media.
Help us grow the community of survival song listeners by joining us over on Substack and add to our public playlist on Spotify. Links are in the show notes.
We hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Ed. Thanks for joining us on Survival Songs. I'm so delighted about today's guests because they're basically the reason why Survival Songs exists. I first met Alys Williams while making her one-woman show, The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was a true story about her and her partner dealing with the trauma after he attempted suicide. And while it went to some incredibly dark places, it was essentially a show about hope, and it was a love letter to life and a true story of survival. And from that, the seeds of Survival Songs were sown. Alys is a writer, director and performer. She trained at the prestigious Le Coq Theatre in Paris. The aforementioned Lighthouse has just finished its national tour to universal critical acclaim, and audiences left genuinely moved, and it was one of the most powerful pieces of theatre that I've ever been involved with. Before we speak to Alys, we're going to hear a bit of her survival song. This is the wonderful Song of Good Hope by Glen Hansard.
Watch the signs now, you'll know what they mean, you'll be fine. Just stay close to me and make good hope. Walk with you through everything.
So that was Song of Good Hope by Glen Hansard, which is our guest today's survival song, Alys Williams. Hi, Alys.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. So straight into it, where did you first discover this song? Where did you first hear it? And can you remember what it was like and kind of your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think it was the first Glen Hansard song that I ever heard, actually, and I'm now quite a big fan. So, yeah, the sound of it definitely. I think he's an amazing musician in terms of. I think I'm quite a lyrics person, or I need both, and I really love being able to actually hear the words in songs, which you can't always. And so I think, yeah, the kind of storytelling of this song just did something to me right from when I first heard it. And I think I was trying to remember, I'm pretty sure that, my partner Duncan introduced it to me. Yeah, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And it just, I don't know, it just spoke to me somehow. You get songs like that, don't you? That just chime with you somehow. So, the first Glen Hansard song I ever heard, and now I'm the biggest fan, and I've seen him live loads of times.
What's he like live? Is he good?
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he just has this, this way of just being such a storyteller, but also just goes so raw. Like there's loads of, you can find videos of him online, just like breaking all the strings on his guitar when he plays stuff, because he just it's like his whole soul just cracks open and he sings to you. He's like, I think he really, really always takes me somewhere like almost like, I don't know, medieval maybe, where I kind of think about those like traveling storytellers and musicians that would, he has that kind of feel to him.
Like an old school troubadour sort of thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I'm off to see him live next month. So I'm glad he's not.
Oh, shit. He's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah, he's brilliant. And he just sings. It also like his whole body gets involved. It's like, he's just this energized kind of performer. Yeah, he's amazing.
So why is Song of Good Hope your survival song? Like what is it that makes you go to it, and without sort of delving too much, why is like I need that song in particular? Yeah,
I think I'm somebody, I listen to a lot of upbeat music actually, and I find, I'm not someone who listens to music loads because I get quite I find it almost like invasively moving. So I'm not someone who can just kind of get on with life with a soundtrack in the background. I find that impossible to do, especially if it's music that I really love. It's a completely immersive experience, and so it's just not practical to listen to music a lot of the time. It's almost unnerving. It's like I don't know, I'm almost scared of it. I think how much it sort of like cuts right to the core of me sometimes, and this song definitely does that. But there's something about this song that it's really like emotional, but very very soothing. Actually, it's got this very soft sound, and I was listening to it again today, and I feel like, we've talked before about how the kind of melody of it is almost like the sea or like the river. It has this kind of back and forth in it that is like getting sort of rocked to sleep, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of like a lullaby or something. And so I think I'm somebody that's very tempted to just go into battle raging all the time, and I like to do, and like very action focused. And there are so many lyrics in the song about kind of just going with the tide and sort of like waiting and watching and just being, I don't know, rocked by the rhythm of everything in a kind of soothing way that you don't always have to go, charging into battle, and you don't always have to be able to fix something straight away. And sometimes, I think I go to this song a lot when I'm tired, like weary, and maybe there've been disappointments, and maybe I don't quite understand why the things are happening the way they're happening. And this song, I don't know, lulls me back into some sort of rhythm of everything that feels bigger than me, like a kind of universe rhythm of it's all gonna be okay, kind of.
And it's obviously quite particular to you because you used it in your show, The Lighthouse, which we sort of spoke about in the intro. And why was it so important to use that song within the show?
Yeah, I think it feels like a really important song for Duncan, my partner, and I. And he introduced me to Glen Hansard, and that's always been a really special song for us. So it feels like quite a romantic song for us, and a song that we would kind of dance to and play a lot. And I really associate it with him. And I assume most people's survival songs will be probably linked to somebody else. So this is very linked to him, but also kind of takes me back to like holidays with my family in little rowing boats on rivers and lakes, which is something that is kind of unpacked in the Lighthouse show, as you know. So it's again this really like soothing energy of all the people that are around me in my life who actually don't need anything from me, and the people that I can just kind of be with in a very calm way when I'm at my absolute worst or most exhausted. I think when Duncan had his breakdown, this was a song that I really clung to, because it is a song about a hope. And I think, like I was saying about the kind of universalness of it, I don't know, it sort of takes me into kind of nature and something that feels bigger. I feel like all of Glen Hansard's music sort of takes you somewhere bigger, into this like soul energy. And I think that I really needed that through that time of sort of trusting to the rhythm of the world, that everything would be okay. Yeah.
And has it being in the show changed your relationship with it? Are you like, oh God, I'm a bit sick of it? Or do you feel it's brought it close to you, or none of those,
No, it definitely hasn't made me sick of it. I love it. And I think more than ever, it feels like coming home somehow now, or putting on an old jumper that you love. Like it's this very sensory thing, like I can almost smell it, I think, in a sort of soothing safety blanket kind of way. But the last sequence in the play, there's a lot of metaphors about water, and Duncan, who's called Nathan in the show, being kind of lost at sea, and what happens on a ship if somebody's lost at sea. So there's a lot of kind of boat imagery, water imagery. And at the end of the show, we've kind of taken a rowing boat and we're going out to pick up that man overboard. We're going out to pick Nathan up, and this is the song that plays with your incredible orchestrated version of it, and it just feels I don't know, like epic, but in the most gentle way. And as I'm doing that, there's this sense of that I can almost see him in the water. That's the feeling, like a light in the distance that I'm going towards. And so, the hope just feels palpable, 100%. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Oh, that's great that you sort of feel like it's not kind of, because sometimes when you hear things again and again, you get desensitized sometimes as humans. But I think music's very difficult with music, right? You don't really... Because I think we attach it so closely to people, right, and to memories and things that you can't. And in fact, I think that's why I think over years, songs that you might not have even liked when you were a kid, actually you suddenly love them when you're older, purely because it's a direct path back to that person, right?
100%. Yeah, there's so many songs I used to listen to in the car on like car journeys with my parents and their music, which I had no relationship with at the time, and now. Yeah, they're comfort songs as well, of just being a child again and driving in the car. Yeah, definitely.
If there was is there one bit in the song that that's like the bit you go, oh my God, that's it. That's like why I listen. It's the bit you wait for, because I always think in the songs there's always like that moment when it makes you go, oh, or like punch the air or dance or whatever it is. Is there like a bit in the song that you love?
Oh my gosh, there's too many bits. But yeah, I mean, I think I love waiting for him to sing the word hope every time, because his voice he sort of like falls off it. It's almost like if you didn't know the song, you don't quite hear the P somehow. Like there's an openness to the end of the word, and it's like this sort of breathy whisper that he just falls off when he's singing. And I love that. It just goes straight to my heart, because it's, I don't know, hope's like that, isn't it? This slightly elusive, watery, like wispy thing that you really get from the way that he sings it. It just kind of like glimmers somehow, like it's beautiful.
Just stay close to me and make good hope.
But there's so many words in it. There's a great line, like, you're going to need all the help you can get, which I remember almost made me laugh the first time I heard it, because I was like, oh, that's a bit bleak, isn't it? But I'm not someone who finds it easy to ask for help at all. Love to just plow on and be independent and pretend I don't need anybody. So there's something very kind of humbling about that line, of just embracing the fact that you're going to need all the help that you can get. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
And you're going to need all the help you can get.
I hadn't heard that song before I did the show with you, and so it felt like you gave me that song, which was I'm really grateful for, and that and Bird of Sorrow, which is on the same album, which are both used in the show, and so and they've become my survival songs as well, which I really love. And we're going to be putting a playlist together of all the songs that are going to feature on the podcast, as well as some of my own little numbers. But thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts about this song, because it is beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's funny you mentioned Bird of Sorrow, because I nearly picked that for today. But then on reflection, I kind of thought, oh, maybe that's Duncan's survival song more than mine.
Yeah.
But and if you come to see the play, you'll understand why. But that's an incredible one, where his voice just goes, I don't know, goes into space somewhere. It's just like a soul singing at you, and his voice is just breaking. I love it when you can hear the cost of it.
Yeah.
For the person making it or singing it or whatever. I don't like it to be too perfect. So that's also an amazing song.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, fully recommend those songs, like both of them, and they are both they're both going to be on the playlist, because they're for me they're a suite almost, of songs, because they've both been in the Lighthouse. Yeah,
I just still can't quite compute the way people are responding to it. We have this lovely thing after the show where people can write on these postcards it's very much in the nature of this, actually, about kind of survival moments, or sometimes they share kind of messages of encouragement for future audiences, or dedications actually to people that they love or people that they've lost, and they're so beautiful. And it's my favorite part of every day on tour is going and looking at the new postcards that have popped up. And so we're slowly creating this almost archive of just encouragement and love and connection, and hope, of course. So yeah, it's a really special project. So I feel very lucky to be touring it and to have made it with such a brilliant team, including yourself.
Well, thank you very much. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, honestly. And yeah, and thank you, because this is, I don't know if people listen to Survival Songs in Sequence, but this is our first one, and I kind of felt it was really important that you are our first guest, because, like I say, sort of you gave me those songs, and that they in themselves became my Survival Songs playlist from those two songs, and from that this idea was born. So thank you for being my first ever guest.
Oh, that is my pleasure. That's such a lovely legacy for the show as well, to spark something else about. It's just all about connecting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Alys, and I will speak to you really soon. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Made a song of good hope, walk with you through everything.